Hey, this is Mark with the Practical Still. We're going back to the bottle on a club pick that I quite enjoyed. This is a Copper Sky Distillery limited release single barrel from a local club that I'm a part of. The guy that runs the club and the fellow that runs Copper Sky Distillery did this pick. It's an MGP whiskey. It's a 7-year, 8-month-old barrel proof, uncut, unfiltered MGP whiskey. If you follow Dan and I, you know we go back and forth on MGP. Frankly, it's never blown me away. It's often really good, but not always. But typically it's really good. This one's a really good example of a carefully chosen MGP single barrel. I liked it a lot when I opened the bottle. I think maybe I wanted to like it more than I really liked it because of the club aspect, because of the single barrel pick, because of the local distillery at Longmont, run by some cool people. Ultimately, as I drank on it, it really hit me like a lot of MGP whiskey hits me. It does that middle of the road bourbon flavor really well. It's just missing some of the highs and lows of something that really makes you want to drink a bottle over and over again. And at 85 bucks, part of the 85 was for the club, and that's 100% okay. I'm all for that. But I certainly wouldn't pay 85 for just this bottle. I'd pay 85 for the experience, for the club aspect, the charitable piece of it. But in and of itself, it just isn't worth that. If this was a $45 bottle of whiskey, I'd be all over it all day long. And it's really good. It's really good kind of down the middle. It just misses those highs and lows that would make it great. I mean, it's still good. It's still got that bready, almost a spice cake kind of thing going on. Yeah, it's really good. A little burny. Yeah, I'm sure there's some flavors there I can't quite pull out because of the alcohol burn. I have poured this and left it on the counter for about 20 minutes. That makes a big difference. Oddly, it doesn't take water very well. If you want to let the alcohol burn dissipate, you're better off sitting it on the counter for 20 minutes than you are trying to add some water to it. Even little drops of water, there's just a fine line where all of a sudden there's nothing left. So anyway, I've enjoyed it. Take the club aspect out of it, the charitable aspect out of it. No way I'd pay 85 bucks for this whiskey. If it was a $45, $50, $40 bottle, somewhere in that range, all day long, delicious. But is it great? Nah, it's not great. So if you get a chance at an MGP single barrel, if those bottles are in the $50 range, it's hard to pass them up. If they get a little higher than that, for me personally, I have a hard time paying that just because they just don't, I don't know, they just don't blow me away. And at 85 to 100 bucks, they need to blow me away for that price. I've certainly enjoyed this one. Hope you do too. Let me know what you think of MGP. I mean, it's everywhere. If you look at a big shelf full of whiskey, these days, hell, 30 or 40% of those whiskeys probably came from the same distillery. Does that bother you? Or is that fine with you? Or what do you think? As long as the whiskey's good, I don't really care where it comes from. Cheers.